This is Jerry. What a sharp contrast to Mr. Brown. If you don't already know who Mr. Brown is the man who sent the text messages that Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi read out to the world, which highlight the minister's involvement with Cat Matlala. Now, a couple of things I want to talk about. I know you guys have watched the documentary. I just want to give commentary around aspects of the documentary, which, first of all, my deepest condolences to the family. This is absolutely horrific. It was horrific to see that video of Jerry with his eye closed, completely closed. And I just said to myself, what would it take for these people, for his eye to look like that? How long has it been? And you can absolutely hear the horror and fear in Jerry's voice, in his cries of pain. In the first clip, when you see him turn away and you see the handcuffs, he's handcuffed, and they have draped the room or wherever they are. Obviously, they don't want you to even identify a light fixture in that house because then someone would be able to know it is. It reminds me of Thabo Bester inside the prison, and people are singing happy birthday to him and he's dressed in a suit, only to find out he's inside Pagati within Hosimamburu. But we are not there. I watched that documentary and the pain of a mother. And I said to myself, how many more mothers do we have to hear crying? It's always the mothers that are crying. It's always the mothers. We also see his son. His son stopped going to school. So heartbreaking. So heartbreaking. We don't know how old he is because obviously they're protecting his identity. But I just hope that maybe it was not his final year in school. And I hope that he's able to get his mental health in check. But that obviously comes with his father coming back home being the first step. Like, what do you say to a child how to maintain their mental health when their father and these horrific videos are being sent? So, when the people that took him against his consent are requesting 60 million payout, that to me, that is extortion at the highest level. And then you ask yourself, who are these people? This man just went to KFC to have a meeting at KFC and never left KFC with his brother. Then Jiggy Jiggy Vusi is in the news. We saw him Vusi only got arrested on the 14th of May 2025. Jerry has been taken since November, 7 months ago. I'm not saying Cat is involved, but I'm saying, wow. The mother cries the most painful cry that you can hear, crying for her son. Her son that she gets confirmation that is alive. Senzomewa's mother doesn't have that luxury. She buried her son and she still cries out to the people that were in the house. She recently pleaded. Last year at Senzomewa's anniversary, she recently pleaded with Kelly Kumalo's mother to just tell her what happened to her son. There's nothing like not knowing what has happened to your family member and living in this limbo of no closure. We also see Jerry's sister give an account of what the family is experiencing. Like that video with his eye and the blood. Oof, I cannot erase that from my mind. And to think that someone would do that to another human being for 10 million rands. And then the question becomes, if they get the 10 million rands, if they fundraise for the 10 million rands, wow, wow. If they fundraise for the 10 million rands, where is the guarantee that he will be handed back alive? Because to me, it looks like he's being kept away for something. Remember, Cat got arrested after he said, you know what, I'm going to go to the media. Got arrested the very next day. No, the very same day. After he made those threats, he got arrested the very same day. And then you ask yourself, so all along, why weren't they arresting him? What was his offense? 3 counts of attempted unaliving of his ex-girlfriend, Utebo Khotovejane. Do you see how close the crime is? That it's It's always someone who knows you in these tenderpreneur, upscale, luxury people crimes. And then they involve a politician or 12. And then now we find out also SAPS members are also in it, some of them. Not the disciplined ones, okay, because there's disciplined SAPS members. I guess there's a different sector of the non-disciplined SAPS members. We don't have a list of those. But those that are disciplined, they like to tell us that they're disciplined. If you know, you know, okay? So I ask, why do we not see a video of the wife? Why is the wife avoiding? Why is the wife avoiding appealing to the people who took Jerry? Sorry, I have to search for my words because this is difficult to talk about. Wow. And as I'm processing this, so this is GNU Unfiltered, where true crime meets the streets of South Africa, infiltrated with some SAPS members, infiltrated with some politicians. Who exactly is Jerry? He is a successful entrepreneur, a rising name in South Africa's farming industry, and a mysterious disappearance that rocketed Pretoria's business world. This is the story of Jerry. I still look at this photo and I say, was he kidnapped because, you know what, there's just so much to process. Because they really want that 10 million. And they really want to keep him alive at the same time till they get the 10 million. Did the family make attempts to sell anything, to liquidate anything? How much did they liquidate? From what they liquidated, how much did they make? And again, I'm not counting pockets, but just looking at the assets, take a look at the sister's necklace. That's not cheap. Okay, that's a very expensive necklace. What did they sell? Did they try to sell anything? Is this the part where they need the wife to consent to selling some of the assets? Did they sell some of the houses? Did they sell some of the farms? Did they sell some of the cows? How did these abductors come to the figure of 60 million? What do they know? We already know that Uvusi Cat, he had a tenderpreneur, he had a tender, government tender, that is SAPS tender, for 360 million that was cancelled. Oh, why do I feel I need to go back to that timeline? If he had a tender that was cancelled, oh no, it was cancelled in May. It was cancelled in May. He didn't know in advance it was going to be cancelled. So, okay, forget that thought, erase that thought. I was about to go off on a tangent, but someone who says, we need 60 million. This is because these are people who know each other, in my opinion. These are people who know each other. They brag about how much this tender cost, how much this. These are people who have these million rand conversations on a regular day. So they felt that those funds are accessible, but sometimes the funds are not accessible to the family. And sometimes the family don't even know what these husbands and sons are doing. And then at the end of the day, they are left to pick up the pieces. They just benefit here and there. They're given vehicles, they're given a fleet. I don't know. But what I do know is that in this documentary, the wife was not featured at all. She said, Auntie Izzy, okay, the children are featured, the mother is featured, the sister-in-law is featured, and then the mother mentions that they tried to borrow money from friends and family in, their elite circles. And these people said, yeah, we've got the money. Okay, even if I give you $1 million now, how exactly are you going to pay me back again? AKA, nobody has faith that he's even going to come back alive, first of all. Secondly, they would rather keep their millions than try to save Jerry's life, or attempt at least. And then I ask myself, why did they, okay, since nobody wants to give money, why not host a benefit, a fundraiser, sell tables? I mean, do something like a Durban July, charge a lot of money. I'm sure, okay, these elite socialites will have somewhere to go to, dress up to, and get there, buy all the alcohol, inflate all the prices, and then you get to raise the 10 million. I'm sure it can be raised simply in a night. How do I know? Thabo Bester raised a lot of money from prison. Yes, it was fraudulent. Yes, it was scandalous. Yes, he pried on innocent beings, but he was able to do it from inside the prison. So I feel, okay, unfortunately, the family's emotions are extremely high and their one goal is to get Jerry back home. But then they have friends and the people around them who can also help out in this manner. They don't want to help financially, we get that. But how else can they help out? In my opinion, having this fundraiser that's that they would have because they have the money. Did they try to sell the Porsche? Was the Porsche financed? Was it purchased outright cash? If the Porsche is 6,000 rands and they were asking for 60,000 rands, 60,000 rands. So that's 10 Porsches that they were looking for. Now you ask yourself, could you, is it because they display what they're able to purchase that caused them attraction to the eye, that caused them, the abductors to want to abduct him? Or is this a random act? Is it a random act? But he knew something was wrong because he went to KFC, he knew the people he was meeting, and he said, I'm going to be right back. He knew. He knew, guys. I think there's more to this story that they're not telling us. And I think the family might know a bit more than they're letting on. That's just my opinion. That's how I feel. I could be wrong. I really could be wrong. I could be wrong. But I definitely want to hear what you think, okay? So basically, what happened is that Jerry was taken. So one of Jerry's close friends, none other than Vusimuzi Cat Matlala, a name known in political and business circles across Gauteng. Together, they were more than just businessmen; they were power players. Then, in November 2024, everything changed. On a regular weekday in Centurion, reports began to surface. Jerry had gone missing. Witnesses say it wasn't a robbery, it wasn't a hijacking. It looked targeted, a kidnapping. This is what I'm saying. He went into KFC. He knew the people. Told his brother, I'll be right back. He didn't say, I'm going there to get a streetwise too. Would you like something? He did not. Why did the brother sit and sit and sit and sit and sit for hours? Why? And how did they leave? Through the back door? How did they leave? With the brother not seeing them? What exactly was the motive? Some say it was tied to high stakes government tender gone sideways. Others believe there were brewing tensions in the business circles Jerry moved in. This is why I say the family doesn't know the intricate details, okay? And no one is going to come forward after he's been abducted to say, yeah, things weren't working out between us. It was kind of sour. Because then you become prime suspect number one. Whatever the case, his disappearance wasn't random. I agree with that 100%. It was calculated. And it sent shockwaves through Pretoria's elite, the elite that won't assist. The police launched an investigation. Friends, including Vusimuzi, stayed silent. Oh, these friends remind me of the sense of me were friends. It's the same kind of friendship, same kind of friendship. Some say they stayed silent out of fear. Others, to protect even deeper secrets. Woo! To this day, Jerry's disappearance remains shrouded in mystery. Was it a business deal gone wrong, a power play, or something far more sinister? One thing is certain: being successful in South Africa's tender game can be dangerous and even deadly. And we're seeing this play out. We're seeing this play out with Uvusi, with his ex-girlfriend. Things went sour between them, and he said, you know what, pow pow. No, the wife said, pow pow her 3 times, okay? I don't like her, allegedly. And they're in court for that now. But if you've made it this far in the video, please go ahead and drop a white heart in solidarity with Jerry's family. Thanks for watching. If you want more true crime stories from South Africa and beyond, hit like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications. And let me know in the comment section down below. What do you think happened to Jerry? What do you think? I'll definitely meet you there. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you on my next upload. Bye.
South Africa is a movie. We live in a drama. It's a series. Every day you will be shocked by something new. We have even forgotten what shocked us 2 weeks ago. You know, every day.
It's only South Africa. Terrible things are happening in South Africa. The leadership is doing some terrible things, horrible things. So that's under investigation right now. We'll make a determination. And until such time as we find out what South Africa is doing, they're taking away land, they're confiscating land, and actually they're doing things that are perhaps far worse than that.